Hello, combatants. Today's monologue is on friendly fire and accidents. Horrific, horrific accidents. So, recently in the news, there was that helicopter on plane crash over DC at the Pelotomic or the Melatomic or whatever. I was talking to some lady, and she just kept. I asked her, like, where was this? And she was like, at the Pelotomic. And I was like, okay. I have no idea where that is. Why does everybody seem to know exactly where that specific river is? She didn't even say the Pelotomic River, she just said the Pelotomic or the Melatomic or whatever it is. And I guess that makes this video topical. But I was planning to make this video before that happened. So, yeah. Okay, I'm not capitalizing on on an accident that claimed like a couple lives. I don't know. I am I the only one? I've been reading too many war books, or I guess I've always read too many war books, but the amount of casualties it just I'm just like, damn, that's sad. Anyway, it just that's not that many people lost. It was like 50 something. That's not a lot of people. It's really not. But definitely a mass casualty event though, so whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I've been reading war books, and I always thought in the war books, because I've heard from people about friendly fire incidents, and I've read about on Wikipedia the that specific incident. Well, a lot of incidents in Desert Storm, but or just in the sand pit type accidents, but specifically the Delta Force one where where they were getting ready for a mission and they just crashed a giant plane into a helicopter like on the runway and just like turned them both into fucking crumpled up pieces of tinfoil. Not even like cut up pieces of tinfoil. Just completely obliterated both craft. And it always seemed to me for the longest time like the reason that we talk about friendly fire or accidents, there's no better term than accident. When I say accident, I mean some sort of mishap in war that, or, involving a military that results in people dying or being horrifically injured, or is in any way comparable to the results of what you'd expect to have when you have contact with the enemy, right? So, yeah, I always thought the reason that people seem to talk about them so much is because the fact that they're so avoidable makes them horrific and therefore extremely noteworthy, right? But the more I've been reading, I realize that I'm wrong. I'm dead wrong. Especially this incident makes me realize just how wrong I am. These incidents are extremely common. Like, unbelievably common. I was reading the book, I'm reading the book right now, The Coldest War. And in this book, it's from the perspective of an officer in the stalemate kind of section of the war, and he has command over his like Marine rifle platoon who has set up like a trench line type thing, right? And dude, I'm telling you, like so many incidents, an unbelievable amount of incidents. People walking over their own landmines, people just shooting their teammates just randomly. People like I don't know if you could call it an accident. I would call it an accident, okay? Or I guess just extreme negligence. These guys just go out on the wrong side of the wire to get their fucking water because they thought it would be a little bit faster, and they just get instantaneously taken captive by the enemy. They didn't even have rifles. Like they didn't even bring their guns. Like what are you doing, bro? So stupid. Yeah, it's so common. It's made me realize this is a pretty wild assertion, okay? But I'm going to say it. I think about 50%, somewhere around 50% of all incidents that cause casualties are either friendly fire or accidents. And when I say incident, I just mean like some kind of event. So, like a battle or any contact with the enemy, I would call that an incident, right? So, the overall incidents, 50% of those are definitely somewhere around 50% are literally just friendly fire and accidents. Like, these are so common. You'd think in war, most of the time you'd just be fighting the enemy and that's how you'd be losing people. No. You're you're dead wrong. It's just cuz just think about it, man. Like how many people do you need to have guns? And then how many random explosive devices do you need to have set up at any given time? And then how many machines of death like tanks or helicopters? I always thought like wouldn't it be horrifying to be like standing anywhere near a tank? If you get run over by a tank even like a little bit, your limbs are turned to pulp. Okay? When a car runs you over, it just kind of like it might break a bone or something. It might mess you up. If a tank runs you over, it is literally reducing whatever piece of your fucking body that got caught under those tracks into mush, okay? Like these and there's no way to like get the driver's attention. Like if somebody runs you over with their car, you can fucking smash their window and be like, "What the fuck?" or something. With a tank, what are you going to do? What you're just if you get caught, you just better hope it doesn't just suck you in somehow, you know what I mean? The amount of machines that can cause death, the amount of explosives, individuals with weapons, so many possible ways to cause death. I mean, surprise, surprise. If you're trying to kill people, then you're going to have a lot of ways of killing people on your hands. But it results in an unbelievable amount of incidents. I'll never forget. I was reading the book Chicken Hawk. Easily, like, one of, if not, I wouldn't say the best. I don't know. I don't really have, like, a favorite book that I've ever read, but it was a really good book. Like, a very good book. Highly recommend. In that book, I will never forget the scene where this fucking guy, man, he's just I think he was literally chilling in like a beach recliner, like a fucking beach chair. And I think he was like on the beach or something and there's this fucking helicopter flying by. I don't even remember what happened. I think like it was it was carrying something like on a like what would you call that? It was hoisting something? No, it was I don't know. You get what I mean? Like something was hanging from the bottom of the helicopter that it was carrying, right? And I think like whatever that was got caught on something and then it just like dragged the entire helicopter down like directly into the fucking floor. Like it's it's the helicopter equivalent of what happened to me that one fucking time. I know you have no idea. Like this is a memory that only I have, but I was in Vegas and I just like there was this metal wire like submerged into the gravel, and obviously I didn't notice it, right? A reason to never wear sunglasses because it just like fucked me up. I couldn't see this stupid thing. My foot gets caught on this thing and I just go straight into the ground. It was cruel too because I had just picked up the pace to a jog. So it just like sent me careening into the fucking floor, this hard gravel. That's basically what this helicopter did. It just got caught, then just went straight and fucking nosedive into the floor. And this guy's watching this. He's just chilling on the beach. He just watches this helicopter. Like, this is not this is not fiction. This is non fucking fiction. Like, this actually fucking happened. Okay? This helicopter just goes straight into the fucking ground. And just, dude, they made these helicopters, these old helicopters. I don't know about current helicopters, but I don't know what part is manufactured out of mercury, but a lot of the helicopter, or not mercury, magnesium, I don't know which part of the helicopter it is, but it's like there's an alarming amount of magnesium that they fucking use to make these helicopters. I think because it's like lightweight or something. If you didn't know, magnesium is extremely flammable. It's like a more unstable version of thermite is how I would describe it. Like those lightning rods that you like strike a knife against them and it like makes a spark. Those are magnesium rods. So these helicopters are manufactured out of a large amount of magnesium. So this thing crashes into the fucking ground. Then like a spark goes and like the fuel catches on fire, right? And people are like running in to try and drag these guys out of this fucking helicopter wreck. And the fuel that caught on fire now catches the magnesium on fire, and within like a second or two, this thing is just a fucking ball of light on the floor, just an absolute inferno. Just like the brightest fucking thing you've ever seen. And this guy who's watching it on the fucking beach, he just he just starts fucking crying because he's like, I mean, what the hell else would you do? At this point in the story, this guy has seen so much death and just so much horrific shit, and just like death is fucking everywhere, and it's just like that was the most casual thing ever. They're just, yeah, we're just carrying a little bit of something over here with the helicopter. Nope, instant crash into the floor, turned into fucking ash. Not even ash. Like, I bet you it burned so hot, like there wasn't even ash or something like that. If you've ever seen the remnants of a helicopter crash, it's like five pieces of metal and then just like a light film of black ash. It's like, how is there an entire helicopter here? It's because it was so hot that it just literally burned off like the metal and the plastic, basically everything that helicopter was made of. It's just absolutely horrific. Or like melted into the floor. I don't really fully understand it, but what I do understand is that it is extremely hot. Way hotter than you'd probably want it to be if you were right next to it. So yeah, that fucking, I don't know if you'd call it a scene. I guess you would, even though it was in a book. That scene, the fucking most horrific thing I've ever read in my life. Because it's like, it's just, this is a whole nother video that I'm going to make. But it doesn't really hit. Like, you can read nonfiction, fiction, and they can say a billion people died, and you're like, okay, whatever. But reading nonfiction, like, you're just like, oh my god, what the fuck? And just the fact that he just sitting there in the fucking beach chair, he just starts crying, because, like, what else do you do? Like, I can't imagine how I would fucking feel just watching all those people run in to try and help them, and then the helicopter just turns into a fucking uh, like a sun that we manufactured here on the earth. Yeah, it'd be. I mean, that would just, I don't know. It'd be too much. Okay, it'd be too much, especially after all that guy had been through in the fucking story. Fucking horrific. So I always thought like, oh, that's a rarity. That's a total rarity. Now reading this other book, I'm like, no, it's not. That's the most normal thing I've ever fucking read in a war book. That's the most average thing I've ever read. And I mean, even when you're not at war, like, this is another separate video, but helicopters are the fucking worst. They're so dangerous. They're like 90% of the time helicopters just randomly fucking crash out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why I said 90%, but a lot more than you'd think. Helicopters just randomly crashed, and that's with an unbelievable amount of maintenance constantly being done to them. So yeah, it's unbelievable. But friendly fire, for the longest time, the way I looked at friendly fire came from video games. I'd play a video game, and it's so easy to laugh at friendly fire in a video game because it's funny. Haha, you shot the wrong fucking guy, idiot. You know what I mean? It's like that one clip from that General Sam video where he's playing what's it called? I'm drawing a blank. It's like that social deduction game where you're like kind of like an 80s or 90s vibe. Not even. Like actually like a early Cold War kind of vibe. And it's First Class Trouble, that's what it is. He's playing First Class Trouble, and one of his fucking friends and him just goes on a killing spree, and he's the bad guy. And it's just, he said, "You're killing your own motherfucking people, dude." I don't know. That was just the way he said it. It was hilarious, and it was just take my word for it. It was funny as fuck, but take my word for it. It was actually the funniest shit I've ever seen. But yeah, so I mean, killing people that are not on your, or sorry, that are on your fucking team in a video game, pretty funny, pretty funny. Because it's just stupid. It's classic fun. You shoot the guy that you're not supposed to be shooting. Whimsical joy, and I guess that just kind of like warped my perception of friendly fire, because you always think like in real war, all these people they're professionals. They're experienced. They know what they're doing. You know, and once again, when I was reading this book, The Coldest War, like, dude, all these, I'm reading it and I'm thinking these guys are like fucking 30 or 40. You know what I mean? And there's this warped perception of like people fighting wars. In media, they're always depicted as like 30 or 40. You know, they're always depicted as so old, and you think of them as old. But in reality, like, dude, the guy who's telling this story in The Coldest War, the fucking guy was like 18, dude. Or I think he was like 20, actually. This fucking guy was like 20 years old. There's a photo of him, and dude, he looks younger than me. I'm not even lying. Like, I would give this fucking guy a swirly. Like, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I was reading this book thinking this guy was like, fucking, he had like a beard or something, like he has to shave. This guy doesn't have to shave for a single fucking second, okay? he doesn't have a single bit of facial hair on his face. Like, I look a billion times older than this guy does. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, this is fucking horrific, man. So, real life, like, you always think, oh, these people are professionals. These people know what they're doing. Let me tell you, the closest analogy that you can get to real life soldiers and how effective they are is, imagine if every single person on the battlefield is your friend that just got the fucking game. You just convinced him to buy the game, and he just got on for the first time. And that's how it is. Every single person is like that. Your friend that just got the game and has no idea what he's doing, or maybe he's a couple matches in, that's the people that you're surrounded with. The quote-unquote veterans on these war fronts, that's just your friend who just got the game but is like 4 matches in, and he kind of knows what he's doing, you know what I mean? But he's still like, he's got shaky nerves, he's irritable, he doesn't really know what's going on, he's afraid. It's not familiar enough to him for him to just fully, like, relax at any point. So, like, if you scare him, if you run up on him out of nowhere, he might just blow your head off. He might just fucking crank 90 degrees and lay down on that left mouse button. And that's real war. That's how real war is. Because, I mean, if you think about it, how many quote-unquote matches have the soldiers around you actually had? Probably not a lot. They probably haven't fought the enemy basically at all. And obviously you're going to be more scared if it's in real life. So, like, we all know that when your friend first gets the game, like, he usually kills you, like, at least once on accident. And that's who's surrounding you on these real-life battlefields. Everybody's afraid. They're confused. They don't really understand what's going on. And they're completely inexperienced. They don't even really know what the enemy looks like. Like, you ever think about that? In most wars, the guy that's to your left and right probably don't even really know what the enemy looks like. They probably have no fucking clue most of the time. So it's no wonder why there's so many constant friendly fire and accidents. And if you ever think like, oh, war, you go and fight the enemy, and hopefully you don't die, but, You kill a lot of them and they kill a lot of you. Not very accurate. The vast majority of the time, you're going to be sitting around not knowing where the hell the enemy is, and you're going to accidentally shoot your best fucking friend in the face because because he came out of nowhere. Okay? Fucker came out of nowhere. What did you want me to do? So yeah, that's basically the video. Friendly fire, accidents, basically the vast, I'm just going to exaggerate, why not? The vast majority of casualty producing incidents. Certainly, though, the most horrific. So, yeah. If you ever get fucking drafted, you just need to realize probably your biggest danger the vast majority of the time, not the enemy. Your greatest danger is accidentally shooting your teammate, or having your teammate accidentally shoot you, or walking over your own landmines that you put down, or having your friendliest accidentally shell you, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's infinite ways to fuck up. Like, in the book that I'm reading, Coldest War, I've said that so many times, but, you know, I keep needing to say, that's the book I'm talking about. They just, at one point, there's a battleship that accidentally this battleship gets the fucking coordinates that they're going to be shelling wrong, and they just accidentally shell friendly positions with these. Okay, so the fucking recording cut out because I didn't replace the batteries because I just thought, you know, like the stupid bastard I am, I just thought that the batteries would have enough juice in them, but they didn't have enough juice in them. They never have enough juice in them, do they? Anyway, so yeah, the battleship, this fat fucking battleship, they just put in the total wrong coordinates, and just like a couple meters off, or, you know, a couple little bit off, they would have just turned a couple dozen guys into paste. And basically the point of that is the incompetence that can be exhibited by friendly forces, or basically anybody, is utterly unlimited, okay? I'm not saying that you should constantly assume that you might just get targeted by some sort of, you know, horrific weapon system, but I don't know. Friendly fire, yeah, I mean, it's pretty fucking bad. You just have to put in a couple wrong numbers and all of a sudden you turn a couple dozen guys into gelatin. But yeah, so I don't really know who this video is for. Like, probably not many active duty guys watching this video. So the takeaway, I suppose, is whenever anybody has any sort of weapon or any sort of means or device that could possibly inflict harm, just be wary that they might not be trying to kill you. They might not be trying to kill a single fucking person. And, you know, crazy things happen. You know, they could accidentally turn everybody within a 5-mile radius into gel. You have no clue what they're going to do. They're just assume that everybody around you maybe isn't a maniac, but maybe just has absolutely no idea what they're doing. You know what I mean? Much like your friend that just got the game. So, yeah. And also, I think I just said this at some point. I just want to say it because I'm sure I said it, like, in what this would have been if the recording didn't cut off, but basically, there's a reason that landmines are banned by basically everybody, and that's because they turn your own guys into jail because they forgot where they put them. They turn civilians into jail because they have no idea where they are. And nobody talks about this, but they probably turn a lot of animals into delicious jelly and jam. I don't know why nobody talks about that, but I'm assuming the vast majority of landmine casualties is probably animals. So, poor animals, so stupid. But yeah, I mean that's basically it. So yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna lie, this part probably pales in comparison. I was on a roll before the recording cut out, you know, lost the time unfortunately. But anyway, I think this was a good video. This was the dope video. Anyway, I'll see ya.